Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we were not live. I had it timed perfectly when we were not live.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And
Oh
this
my
was mixed
God.
up this.
Yeah, so they get the little snippet in the beginning again. Next time it'll be perfect. Oh my God. Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Long delay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, technical difficulties. We only did one show. Whatever. We'll get it down the next time, I promise.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tonight is discussing limitations in Magick. Does Magick have limitations? And if they have limitations, what are those limitations? What's going on? You know, are there limitations when we are casting or when we're doing magic? Hey everyone. I know there's a bunch of people in chat. Hey Johnny. Hey Melissa. Hey Larina. Is that everybody? It says that there's like 7-8 people watching right now. Okay. I'm Cricket Song. You're watching Deux, Wytches, and we're here with Obsidian Fire. You can see our names. We don't have to do these introductions because our names are already there. Look at. Oh my gosh! Thank you for hanging in with us. And I'm sorry about the rescheduling that needed to happen. I am feeling so much better. Thank you, everybody, for your well wishes and concerns. But everything is as back to normal as normal can be for me, right? Because I'm not normal, but I'm purple blue. Yay! Hey Shadow, hey Kimmy, all our regulars are here tonight. Yay! We missed you.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Limitations in Magick. Don't be afraid to post comments or ask questions as we go along. We will definitely address your questions and comments, especially if it pertains to what we're talking about tonight. So you know what, we should probably, because I know Obsidian's thoughts on this, because we've had this discussion plenty of times before. But I want to start with what magic is, because I think if we really understand what magic is, then we can understand limitations of magic if we understand what magic is. And I think that when people suggest that there are specific things that magic cannot help you with, it's because of the perception, their perception of what magic is. I think that's, if you think magic is a specific way, then in that understanding, there are limitations in how you perceive it. So Obsidian, when you're having discussions about magic, how do you define what it is?
Well, usually I don't have a discussion about magic because I am not discussing things because I don't need people approval. But if I had to, I would say that magic is a form of art, was designed to bend the energy of the world in order to achieve your will, to make your will manifest in some way, to bend things to your will.
Yeah. And you use the word energy. You use the word energy because I definitely for myself equate magic with energy. Like energy, you can't really see it, but you can see the effects of it.
Yes, like X-rays or UV.
Right. So even though you don't necessarily you can't necessarily touch energy. You can feel the effects of what energy does. So if we think about it in like electricity, energy makes the lights work, but the light isn't energy. The light is the effects of the energy manipulating the bulb in the light.
So, yeah.
Right.
Reflecting on other atoms and
Right.
all the same.
So I think of magic that way, that, it's something that we know is around us. It's something that we as witches or magical practitioners or magicians or sorcerers or wizards or whatever word you're going to use to describe yourself, you are the tool to manipulate and bend the energy, the magic, to create a change and a desired outcome. So, Aleister Crowley's definition is one that always resonates with me. The art and science of manipulating energy through emotion and will to affect a change in the reality, either within or around us. So
It's a very good definition.
I like it. I kind of tweaked it a little bit, but that's basically what he suggests, right? So yeah, that's how I think of magic. So just like magic, energy can be used for, beneficial means like, lighting the light so we can see at night. It can also be used to power the electric chair.
Yeah.
For, destructive purposes. We can, use energy in a very destructive way as well. And we can use magic in that way too. And I think just like energy, it can be used for a multitude of things, right? So
Yeah.
in that way, do you see any defined limitations for magic?
Well, the interesting point here is it's a complicated theme. There is a lot more to cover than just the question in itself. On theory, there is no limitations.
Right.
But
I wanted to start there because then we can add into everything else. Yes, I agree with you. In theory, if you just take magic for magic's sake, magic itself, just like energy itself, I don't see any limitations in that as well. I think magic in its own entity, in its own nature, is limitless, right? I mean, that's how energy is limitless too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
But
yes, let's go to the but.
there is some but, and there can be many. The two bigger I see. The first one is, how do you, I mean, you personally, you behind your screen, feel about limitation of magic? Do you believe that it can actually do anything? Do you really believe, I mean, wholeheartedly? Because this is the first barrier, and a strong one. If you do not believe that magic can do that or this for you, it won't do it, because
Right.
you are the tool who manipulate things. I mean, if you try to mold some, what's the word? The word in English, argile, in French.
If you're going to mold what?
To sculpt something.
Oh, sculpt like clay.
Thank you. I knew
Okay,
that.
I didn't know what you were getting at. Yes, it's early in the morning for you.
Yeah, really early. There, you can see the puff under the eyes because I'm totally out of it. So sleepy, it's a shame. Okay, so if you are trying to sculpt clay, if you do not believe that you can accomplish whatever you are trying to mold, you won't do it because you will doubt yourself constantly. This is the same thing here. If you do not truly believe that this energy can accomplish that for you, whatever that is, it won't do. It it won't go there because you don't believe it. And
Yeah.
the reason why maybe you don't believe that magic can do all of that for you is we are taught that way. We are raised that way. I mean, almost all of us, we've lost completely the mystic feeling in the world. We have lost it completely. The new God is science,
Hmm.
actually. Uh, and yeah, so we are raised that way. It's heavily difficult to get out of this um, path and learn to open our mind again. So this is the two biggest buts I see.
Yeah.
Magic can do many things, but
No, I agree. I mean, if the individual witch, magical practitioner, sorcerer, magician, whatever, I'm just going to use for the discussion, I'm going to use the term witch, but please understand that that includes all magical practitioners. If the individual doesn't believe that magic is limitless,
Mhm.
then the limitations on magic are what the practitioner places on it. So,
Mhm.
as a practitioner, if I believe that magic cannot heal physical wounds, then for me, magic will not heal physical wounds. If I believe that magic cannot get me a job, then magic will not get me a job. If magic will not allow me to win the lottery, then magic will not allow me to win the lottery. And I agree with you. Like you said, we are taught from the moment we're born that there are truths and realities that cannot be broken. And because we are born into this collective belief, it's sort of like a hindrance as soon as we are taught certain things. If we are taught that, the only thing that will heal you is a prescription drug, if you have a disease that has no cure, if you are born with a genetic disorder that cannot be changed or fixed, and you are taught that from the moment that you are born, then nothing,
Gonna
or I'm sorry, I'm not going to say nothing, because you could have some sort of epiphany or revelation of your own, but it will be very difficult because the momentum has already been built up
and the
that
more
this cannot
severe
happen.
is yeah, and the more severe is the problem, the health issue or the health issue or anything else, the more difficult it's gonna be to climb that mountain. But I've seen very interesting documentary a few months ago. It was about I don't know how to say in English. In French, it's un oncologue. So someone, a doctor who is specialized to treat cancer.
Oncologist.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
So an oncologist, I think it was German, who discovered himself his own cancer, and it was a very mean one, a one that he wasn't supposed to get out of. Supposedly, he has like 1 year to live, and that was it. And starting from this point, he he just cannot accept for himself that there was nothing to do and that he wasn't gonna recover from it, that any fight would be pointless. So it took time because basically it was it was all that was left for him according to science, which he was because he was a doctor, so he was a scientist too, kind of. I mean, he has a scientific mind at least. So it takes time to think about all of this. And he decided after a few weeks walking in the wood, he told that specifically in the documentary that he was accompanied by his dog, and he was taking long walk in the wood, contemplating nature and himself, and basically decided that he was gonna fight and he gonna win against this specific cancer that has no cure, because he realized that if he felt like his body was able to cope with that, so maybe the body gonna be able to, like in the placebo effect, kind of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this mind that actually is very close. It is kind of magic. It is magic. It is
Yes.
about energy, tweaking the energy to accomplish something that science cannot explain.
Yes.
So it's the same thing in my mind. And so he goes in for the fight and he won. He recovered completely from his unrecoverable cancer. He should have been supposedly dead by the time he recorded this documentary, but
Right.
he didn't die, obviously. He
Right.
won. And starting from there, he kind of founded his own school,
Mm-hmm.
of mine, I mean, his own approach of the whole treatment for cancer, including patients' reflection, thoughts, and feeling, and all they learn them that they can heal.
Yeah.
And his new way of doing his job, because it's his job,
Right.
was very different from what he was taught, basically, because
Right.
he recovered, because
Right.
he decided that science was wrong.
Right.
It's the same thing here.
It is.
Many
And
of us be able to do the same thing that he does.
exactly. I believe that. I think the issue comes in when we say we believe something, but in our hearts or in our mind, we don't truly believe it. Like when we talk about believing something, we have to whole body believe it. So overcoming like that, the doctor, he whole bodily believed he could overcome the cancer. I think that sometimes we pay lip service, we say something even though we don't truly believe it. And, saying it is one step towards embracing the true belief. But if I'm going to cast a spell to lose weight, but I truly don't believe that the magic is going to help me lose weight, because somewhere in my mind or in my heart, I don't believe it really can, because for whatever reason, I don't believe I can lose the weight. Maybe I'm genetically disposed to being fat. Maybe whatever it is, my mom told me when I was a little girl, I was going to be fat, whatever that is, there is a different belief within me that I wholeheartedly believe that I need to overcome before I can embrace the fact that magic could help me lose weight. You know what I mean? We self-sabotage all the time.
Yeah. And I just want to take a break to address a question
Sure.
I've seen in the chat a couple of minutes ago, but I hold on to it because I dislike the way it was
Which one was it?
formulated. So it was Amy something who asked why we didn't use our real names, or
Oh,
at least first name. And I really, really appreciate the reference to stripper. So
oh.
as it was really kindly asked, I would not address that further away. I would not answer because it was not gently asked. So, sorry. It was just to point out.
Okay.
I dislike this kind of. You see, it's too easy to address to someone who is unreal for you behind your screen, with forgetting all the politeness that should be used. You know, it's not stage name; it's magical name.
So this is the question that Obsidian is addressing. Amy asked, why don't we use your real names or at least your first names? Um, it's they're like she said, they're magical names.
So
Um,
as it is a witchy show, we
yeah,
are expressing in the witches about witchcraft on witchcraft with our witchy name.
yeah. My
Witchcraft.
witchy name has been with me since 2000 something, even before 2000. So.
It's
And I
something
have a
I
video that you can check out on how to craft your own magical name. Go to my search under search and look up magical name, and you too can craft your own magical name. And when you pick it, please share with us. Shadow
okay.
Sun, when discussing views on magic, um, she also resonates with Crowley's
It's
Crowley,
a very
Holy Crowley. Yeah, his definition of magic. Um, and there was something else. Where was it? Oh, right here. Angie, if we could embrace the idea that we can truly heal without anything at all as a fact, and believing, I have no doubt it would catapult our physical being, our vehicles, many lifetimes into the future. I agree. Totally agree with that. Um, oh, yeah. And Angie also said most of our elders have died of cancer. I've noticed that as soon as they find out, but they have cancer, no matter what stage they're in, their health plummets immediately. Yes. And I think that's because we're told there is no cure for cancer. How many of you have been told that? You know, there's no cure for cancer, and oh, God help you if you have brain cancer or pancreatic cancer. Those two are terrible. You're going to die within months. And we're told that, and we're told that, and we're told that, and we're told that, and we read that.
Yeah, there is a bunch of it, and my father died from cancer 20 years ago. So basically, I know what it does to go through that. I mean, not me myself, but I was a lot here. I was here a lot, and I've seen firsthand that at some point he was just too tired. He doesn't want it anymore. Living, I mean. And from this point, it goes down the hill so fast that it was dead in not not 2 months, less than 2 months. He was dead. The whole process took 5 months between the announcement to his burial. Sorry, I had a cat in my throat.
Yeah, it's that momentum. There is this huge momentum behind this, behind cancer as an energetic vibration. There is this big momentum that has been built up so that as we come into the, you know, physicality in a physical vehicle, we've been taught. I mean, my grandparents died of cancer too. So even as a young age, at a young age, you know, my maternal grandparents on my mother's side died of cancer. So, and actually my father's mother, my paternal grandmother, died of cancer as well. So there's this whole momentum of what cancer is. It's already been defined. And this, it's unbeatable. There's no cure. The most you can hope for is remission, but that doesn't mean it's gone. And just with that idea, any sort of belief that we hold within us is going to create a barrier and a resistance to the belief and the understanding that magic has no limitations, because we've already set these limitations in our beliefs as we manifest and as we become who we are in a physical sense. We have all these restraints and these societal and cultural and just human beliefs that magic cannot do certain things for you. It's that idea if you cast circle. That's another reason why some people, especially Wiccans, cast circle. The idea is that you are creating a space where the laws do not exist. You are carving out a time and space that is beyond time and beyond space, where the only thing that actually is a law is the laws you bring into circle with you. So if you're able to shed all your conceptions and ideas and expectations outside of the circle and jump into circle with childlike wonder and belief that anything can happen within that circle, truly believe anything can happen within circle, then when you cast a spell within circle, it will happen. It will happen because you've created this space that is beyond space and time. And that's part of that idea, shifting your reality, getting into the magical mindset where whatever you say, as I say it, so will it be, or so mote it be. You are laying the law. You are setting the expectation. This is happening. This will happen. This has happened in that moment. So basically, the only limitations that magic has are the ones that you set upon it. The only limitations magic has is the ones that the practitioner has. The practitioner sets the limitations on magic. So if you're a witch that says magic cannot help you lose weight, it won't. Magic cannot cure cancer, it won't. Magic will not get you a job, it won't. Because you already believed it to be so.
How did you say I'm seeking for a word right now. And I don't find it because it's too early in the morning. Okay. I'm oh, sorry. I read something that made me laugh in the chat.
Yeah, I know. Chat is going crazy. It's not really talking about magic limitations either.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut this out really quickly. Amy, I'm so sorry if you feel offended, but I'm not sorry. You need to choose your words more carefully, and I won't discuss with you for hours the fact that stripper is not a really well perceived word in any context. So just learn to choose your word differently. Your question is welcome, but you said strippers are human too, obviously, but we are too. So if you're prone to discuss how stripper can be offended by the fact I'm offended to be called one, then maybe you should be prone to understand that you need to choose your word more carefully. Okay, I'm not going into the whole drama that you are the victim and all the shit that's going on.
Yeah, I think the offense here is that, Amy, I think the offense here is that you took our magical names, which we view as sacred, because our witchcraft is not just a hobby. It is who we are. We are witches. You can't remove the witch from me. You can't remove the witch from obsidian. We are witches. And you equated our use of a magical name to a stage name, whether it's a stripper's stage name, whether it's an actor's stage name. You've taken something that we value and you've devalued it by comparing it to a simple stage name. That is the offense.
Yeah. 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 I'm kind of.
Yeah. So back to the magical limitations.
So I think I've missed a comment. Someone was sharing something, and I think I missed it.
Let's see.
It's protecting me. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, circle. Yeah. Angie was talking about circles right here. To this day, I believe that circle with just my arms around my head is protecting me from bad energy. I've never told anyone this before. Yeah, I think that that is a wonderful thing. And I think when we're talking about magical circle, a lot of people just think it as protection. But I want to explain and point out that yes, it is protection, but it also allows you to separate yourself from the beliefs and the practices and the expectations of the physical realm. So as a Wiccan, when I was Wiccan, identified as Wiccan, and I practice Wiccan ritual, the act of carving out that time and space from mundane reality, from the laws of gravity, from everything that we believed as a shared human experience. We believed that gravity worked a certain way. We believed that there's no cure for cancer, or whatever it is that we believe in the mundane. When you cast Magic Circle, that those laws don't, whatever happens in circle stays in circle. The miraculous, the mystical, the profound, the unexplainable can happen in circle. You can levitate in circle. You can do miraculous things. You can cure cancer in circle if you bring that with you, the cure with you, the belief with you. If you are unable to leave that outside of circle and you still bring that with you in circle, then those things aren't going to happen. That's the whole idea of cleansing yourself before you come into circle, washing away, clearing all the mundane and coming into sacred, magical, mindset, a magical state where anything and everything is possible. That's that whole ritualistic aspect of whether you do smudging or whether you do a purification or however you purify and sanctify and consecrate yourself before you walk into that circle. Because it's a magical place where anything is possible if you believe it to be so. And that's that first big boundary or obstacle that you have to get over.
And it's a really tough one because obviously we are raised to think a certain way, and we are billions to be raised that way. So it created a very strong, thick barrier that we cannot go through, or very, very with a good amount of difficulties.
Amy. Amy, my dear. It's not necessarily privacy. I would encourage you to go watch my video about magical names. Amy wanted to know.
No, because
where is it? You never answered my question. Why the privacy? I would encourage you to go read. Go read my book. No, go watch the video about choosing a magical or craft name. For me, it's not about privacy. You can Google my name and Cricket Song and my I'm sorry, it's not my birth name. My married name will come up. I've written books under my Cricket Song magical name for magical purposes. And I've written books under my married name as an author. I'm on Facebook, in our Facebook group, under my name. I mean, you can find my name. It's not necessarily privacy, but it is a magical act of creating a magical name that resonates on the vibrational frequency of my spirit or my soul or the witch of me. I'm a witch, and when I do my witchcraft and work my witchiness, I use my witch name. It's not really about privacy.
Yeah, but in any way, why do you care? We are in front of the camera, taking question, talking about shit. we are
I just
here.
answered your question, Amy.
Yeah, but in any way, even if it was just about privacy, which is not, but if it was, that it's a clever decision to keep your privacy, especially now
On the
on
internet.
YouTube. If you don't see what I mean, you should just research a bit. And going around with your whole name, whole address, and everything, it's not a good idea on the net. So,
Oh, was she okay? So I apologize if I misunderstood. I thought she was saying that we're trying to hide something by using our magical names. Are you, Amy, asking if there is something you should fear in using your personal name instead of a magical name? And if that's truly your question, I would ask you, because I don't know where you live and I don't know what your living situation is. I think for some individuals, using their real name in where they live, at least here in the United States,
it's not a good idea.
can be a bad idea, especially if they have children, because I know of stories
Yeah, me too.
of individuals who have lost their custody of their children during a divorce because the spouse, when they went to court for custody, said that their other parent was a Satan worshiper or was doing bad stuff that would not make them a fit parent. So
Yeah.
I think it
That
really is
is
dependent upon the individual.
Yeah, bullying too is a very real concern. And in any way, shape, or form, internet is not an accepting place anymore.
No,
It
it's
is not a kind place. It's like busy with people who just like to stir the shit up and be mean and just find a way to piss you off. And especially if they know you in the real life. It's
yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of people like this. It's so funny to
Yeah,
kind of
if you have
opinion. So
family or friends or coworkers even,
yeah,
depending on the type of job that you work at, and if they were to find out that you were a practicing witch, they could make your life difficult. So it's really up to the individual to make that decision for themselves whether they should be out of the broom closet or not.
but even if they weren't, honestly, it's not a wise choice to go around with your real name. It's just not. If you just check it out, and you're gonna see how much information some clever person with a computer can get on you, starting from your real name on social media, how much you can get your bank account and anything like this. This is the first step to protect your information and yes, your privacy, but in the law's eyes. I mean, to prevent your boss to know whatever you do, to prevent the
Yeah,
government.
unfortunately, no matter how much you hide your name, though, people can find it.
Yes, but you're gonna make it harder for them if you don't
Yeah,
go.
well, for me as a business owner, I had to register my name with my business. So if you know my business name, then you can find out all the information you want about me.
Yeah, I flipped it with the word, probably because the word was clumsy. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get back to our subject. So limitations. So the problem is we do almost all believe that there is a good bunch of limitations.
Yeah, and I think the limitations really come down, like we said, to the individual that is practicing the magic. So, magic will work for you within the limitations you have set upon it yourself. But just like energy, if we go back to the whole idea that energy is like magic, if we just interchange energy for magic, then energy itself is limitless. So magic itself is limitless, but energy is confined by the limitations that we've set upon it by the tools that we manipulate the energy with, like the light bulb example. So
yeah. Sorry.
There's conversations about being a witch and being persecuted and bullied and stuff
so
in the thing.
Yeah, it's so sad, but there is a whole bunch of reasons
why
you can be persecuted.
Not
just about that.
So does anybody in the chat have questions or thoughts or comments about the idea of magic having limitations, and what limitations, or what do you think magic cannot do? Magic cannot do. And here's another example. Obsidian and I were talking about a few weeks ago before we were going to do the show, back when we were supposed to air it. And I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to say why I agree with it, and then I'm going to say why I disagree with it. Okay, so, and I've used this example too. Magic is a practice, right? Witchcraft is a practice. Witchcraft takes work. It takes effort, right? I believe this, and I will stand by this. And I've said, you cannot just go to your altar, light a green candle, and expect money to come. I'm going to light this candle, boom, money. And that's it. My spell is done. And then I just sit on my ass on my sofa and binge watch Netflix and expect money to come come without anything.
From the ceiling.
From the ceiling, fall from the sky, money, 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 money. That won't happen. It won't happen.
No.
It could happen.
But
It could happen. It's not going to happen for me. And chances are, if you're sitting watching this, whether you're in the live chat right now, watching it live, or whether you're watching it pre-recorded, chances are this is not going to happen for you either. Because we are not as enlightened, elevated, masterful, practiced, whatever word you want to use.
Yes.
For that to happen. But I think it could happen if we were living in the momentum of that. If there are so many things that we have been taught since our birth, whether we're witches at birth or knew we were witches at birth, or we came into our witchiness years later, we're taught that those things just don't happen. And I think if we were living in our vibration, in our witchy vibration, we could be to a point where it could happen. But I don't think in this society, in this year or next year or the year after, with all the distractions that we have in our mundane life, that any of us will get into that place where that could happen. Mm-hmm. Because we're just not there. We haven't built up that momentum. We don't live in the woods, at the cottage, at the edge of the village, with all our witchiness and only our witchiness to distract us.
Yeah. And that's a pretty important point you just mentioned. And it's true, we've already discussed that. And I forgot about it in the meantime during the show. But yes, it's really true. We are not attuned enough. We are not connected enough. We are not evolved enough for the most of us. Which
Or
is not,
devolved enough if we look
yeah,
at it in that way. You know, we have so many distractions in our modern day. You know, if we were to pluck each of us out, throw us in a witch's cottage at the edge of a country village where we're out picking herbs and scrounging, scavenging.
it's not my
I can't
language.
even come up with the English word.
Yeah,
Scavenging for our herbs and our roots and our resins, killing or planting or plucking for our food, living, breathing, working every minute of every day on our craft. Then I think we could just light a candle and say, but then we wouldn't ask for money, would we?
no, we won't.
Because that wouldn't be a focus for us at that point. We'd maybe be looking for barter, or maybe we would be looking for butter to have on our bread or flour or yeast or whatever we would need.
Mm-mm.
We're so in some ways, I feel like we're so evolved that we've devolved. We've
Mhm.
come so far away from our alignment with nature and the magic of the earth in our high-rise internet city apartments
Yeah,
that we've kind of lost that connection that we would have had.
we've lost it, and I think we kind of all feel that way. When I bet you're gonna know what I talk about, but when you are really attuned with your craft, with when you are in a moment in your life, you have time to practice, you have time to think about it, and you are in a really witchy moment that can last for months. Don't you feel more effective?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you feel that you can accomplish so much more? But then the mundane life gets back to you and eat your hmm? And you lost it. You
Yeah.
lost this momentum. You lost this feeling because you are uh, you are eating alive by your mundane life. You have to do this, that, and you have to pay the bills, and you have to pick up the child to school, and you have to go to them. I don't know how to say to fix your car because it's
Yeah,
very,
mechanic. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. And all of this is just bringing you down. If we accept the idea that working any kind of energy raise your soul,
Right.
bring you down to earth, but not that much finally. It's not that good earth that can help you. It's the earth we created, the
Right.
one we are trapped into.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I want to address Angie's point here. I think it depends on the person creating the blank, whatever it is. She likes to intervene with great need in following the creed. Um, I think I think building up that momentum, I think that we don't have to intervene if we are living in that momentum every moment of the day. So I mean, if we would, and that's, I think, when you hear about witches saying that they've lost touch with their magical practice, or they don't feel connected, or they're trying to create a daily practice, they don't have one and they really need one. And I think that's that disconnect, that distraction from mundane life. And I think part of that is shifting your perspective, like looking at everything you do as a magical act, because the world, the society, the mundane life, the things that we have to do, I feel like a lot of times it's in competition with the spiritual. You know, we have created a modern society that doesn't look to supernatural explanations. It doesn't look at even natural or deity influenced. It wants the science, like Obsidian said earlier. Science is the new gods, you know. And I'll even make a reference to American Gods by Oh my God, who's the writer? Neil Gaiman. And in that series, or the novel is so much better than the TV series, American Gods, the American Gods in that book are technology, media. What are some of the other ones? Money. You know, those are the American gods. The old gods, Woden, Anubis, Thoth, they're the old gods. You know, because modern society doesn't look to the old gods. It looks to technology, money, media, you know? And so modern society sort of tries to separate our magic from ourselves. Media and governments, they want us to be submissive. They don't want us to recognize our own sovereign power. They don't want us to be able. They don't. They don't.
Power, so they want to manipulate us. But but for them and for so many people around the world, no, I shouldn't say that. So many people in like developed countries, we will say, that just negates the existence of, it doesn't exist for them. Yeah. So they tell their child that it doesn't exist. And we are raised that way. And so everything else is built around this belief. That which make me kind of laugh, because if we just take the Bible for an example, which is out of a well-known religion with many followers, that no one is gonna come and say, yeah, that's bullshit. Okay, nobody gonna do that, because it's too old according to the public knowledge. We're gonna say, okay, so magic doesn't exist, right? Let's look into the Bible. I think there is someone who walk on water.
Yeah, raised the dead.
One who opens the sea too.
Cured leprosy.
Yeah, give a sight to a blind person.
Changed water into wine.
Yeah, right? Isn't that magic, guys? Yeah. Oh no, it's a miracle. It's not the same thing.
How is it not the same thing?
Yeah. Okay, so it's psychotic. It's schizophrenic society, but it is. It's like, yeah, everything is schizophrenic in our way to live.
Witches are schizophrenic, aren't they?
Yeah, but they know it. Usually others don't. They just follow the thing. You know, so they tell us that energy, basically magic energy, doesn't exist, but it's everywhere in the well-known religion, the most followed religion. Okay, yeah. It doesn't exist, but you all follow that. Anyone who believe it.
But even the magic, if we think about it, even magic in the Bible and the scripture is only reserved for certain people, you know. And I feel like, and then if they follow that, they're going to say that there is no magic anymore, you know, because Jesus was the only one who did magic or whatever. But even I think it also depends like on where you live, because I can see a big difference between here in Washington State and Massachusetts. Yeah. Here in Washington State, there is more of a new age feel, and there is more an idea of new age manifestation as opposed to witchcraft. And even Christianity isn't as popular as agnostic beliefs. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's going to depend on where you live, but still, regardless, modern society still sort of downplays all that. They still want to separate you from your beliefs, whatever they are. They
Yes.
want you to just be submissive and follow
Absolutely.
the popular trend or popular belief.
It's the same thing everywhere. On social media, it's very true. You need to present yourself this way. You need to have the good profile picture. You need to have this type of show because this is what people want to see. And look deeper into it. The less clever it is, the more people gonna follow. I'm sorry to spit that obviously on the face of the world, but sorry, not sorry. That's true. The more dumb it is, the more people gonna follow it. And if you but why? Obviously, all of these people aren't dumb. And if you ask them, but why? Why do you watch that? That empty. This is vain. This is
Because they don't have to think. They don't have to put in the effort. They don't have to put in the work. The other people can just do it for them.
Yeah.
But if you are a magical practitioner, you are going to need to build momentum up for yourself.
Yes.
If you're not, and especially if you're not following the mainstream, then the momentum when you pull yourself away is going to have to be that much greater. So if you're fighting against the popular things, you're going to need to put in more effort and more work in order for your manifestations to happen. And that's why, I mean, if you go back to the idea of some religions, they tell you not to associate with those outside of the religion or those outside of the church. It's because it's easier for you to be with like-minded people because then you can keep your own momentum going. Yes. So in that essence, if you're a witch, you want to associate yourself with more witches because they're going to help you build the momentum of whatever you're trying to manifest.
Yes, it's like keeping the fire burning.
Yes.
Instead of running across a bucket of water.
Yep.
Obviously, you're gonna want to stick with people who are gonna help you.
Yes.
And just if you wanna, I think if you want to accomplish something, stay away from the no thinking whatever. You have to think. You have to build your own truth, your own path, your own perception of the world.
I agree. Yep.
What do you think you can accomplish? What do you think is true?
Mm-hmm.
That first point, what do you think is true? If you don't think that magic is true,
then it's not going to be true.
Stop right there.
Don't even put in any effort because it's all going to fail.
Yeah, absolutely. No one is going to give you a Harry Potter magic wand and that's not going to blurb, spark.
Unless you believe that. If you believe that Harry Potter magic wand is going to give you power and help you manifest your magic, then it will, right?
Truly believe it. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
But if you are there just seeking an easy way out of your ongoing problems, mundane problems,
you're not at that point where an easy way out is going to happen.
No, because magic is not easy.
It could be if we were at that point where it was.
Well, if we were in the cottage you mentioned.
Yes. Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be so great.
If we were away from all of this bound that, it is weighting too much on our shoulder.
Oh, yeah, a burden.
A burden, thank you. There is so much burden to get out of.
Honestly, this whole idea is why we stopped getting traditional TV in our home, because I know so many people who just put the TV on for background noise in their home. And do you know what you're allowing into your home by just turning it on and letting it play? You may not think you're hearing what is being said, but you are. and do not go to sleep with the TV on. Because as you're going into your meditative state right before sleep, think about all that shit that's coming in from the TV, all the ads and all that stuff.
Everything is designed to make us consume
Yes.
more. It's about that. Because
is.
while we are busy to think what we're gonna buy, we are not busy to think who we're gonna vote for.
Yes.
And asking ourselves if he's a dumbass, sexist, and homophobic.
Yep.
And I'm not pointing my finger at a special someone at all.
Our time has come. I just want to end tonight's show, but I just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts. It's important for you to make choices as to what you allow into your world, into your brain, into yourself. That goes with social media too. You know, you need to choose things, choose friends, choose things that you're watching. Don't let things play.
Don't follow everyone. Ask
Choose
yourself,
wisely.
Ask yourself why. Why do I do that? Why do I watch that? Why? Ask yourself why, and then choose.
Yep.
Use your brain, people.
Because all these things will influence you. They'll influence your beliefs, and in the end will influence your magic.
Everything. Because magic is what is supposed to be who you are.
Be a free thinker. Yes, Shadow. Yes. And we're going to end on that. We have our next show.
Can't remember.
In December.
It's not the 7th or the 8th?
The 13th. Okay. December 13th. Yes, yes. We're planning our next show to be December 13th. If you are not a member of the Facebook group, Deux, Wytches, I strongly encourage you to go join the group. I do a video for the group only for group consumption once a week. And I take suggestions on what you guys want me to talk about. And we don't have a topic for our next show. So if you have ideas of what you'd like us to talk about, we'll gladly welcome. I think we do have a topic, but I'll talk about that with you in a minute. So December 13th is the idea of when we're going to do our next show. So that's it. Thank you all for being a part of our show. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Love you.